Hey everyone, Costless here. Welcome to my Week 7 predictions video. If you haven't seen my Week 6 recap, you can go check it out on my channel where I had a 92% correction rate. So that was pretty cool. Highest so far, my personal best for the season before that was 69%. But yeah, out of the 13 games that I predicted, I got 12 correct and one wrong. So pretty good stuff if you ask me. So go check out that video. But this video, of course, has the predictions for Week 7 that starts tonight in New Orleans. So as you can see, the slate of games, some of them are going to be highlighted in blue. That is just because they're either a primetime game or there's something special about it. They're not playing. They're playing in a neutral venue of some sort, and I'll explain once we get to the game. So, of course, Denver versus New Orleans. That's Thursday Night Football in the Superdome. I'm gonna go with Denver. I don't like the Saints. I jumped off that bandwagon as soon as they beat right after they beat Dallas. Ever since they had that huge win against Dallas, they haven't really replicated that at all. And of course, they don't have Derek Carr. You have Spencer Rattler there. Yeah, it's just stay away from the Saints. I would even be putting Saints players on my parlays at this point. Just nah, I'm good. And I think Sean Payton's gonna cook on his return to New Orleans. So that's probably the only reason why this is on prime time because man, those two teams are not very good. Like the Denver, yeah, they're winning games and good for them, but they are still a few pieces away from being a exciting team, a team that could challenge for the division with the Chiefs and possibly Chargers. So yeah, but it's cool to see that they're getting primetime games every now and then. So good for you, Broncos fans. But I'm gonna go with Broncos to win this game. The Patriots against Jacksonville. This is going to be another London game. So I'm guessing for the past 2 weeks the Jaguars have been living in London. So yeah, I'm going to go with Jacksonville. There's no travel whatsoever. The Patriots have to fly out to London, and the Patriots aren't a good team. Like I said, they are an embarrassment to what the Brady Patriots, the Belichick Patriots used to be. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's wrong. You can say Drake May looks good, and maybe Drake May just goes off and he has 4 touchdowns. And I think if he has 4 touchdowns, the Patriots will win, but I fucking doubt it. I really doubt it. So we're gonna go with Jacksonville here. I I don't know why I shouldn't. If the Patriots win this one, I'm not gonna be too surprised just because May can actually play quarterback, I guess, or better, way better than Trevor Lawrence, who's a bust. Um, yeah, I Trevor Lawrence really just fell off. He has a Daniel Jones contract at this point, so yeah. But I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. This is probably gonna be the one I get wrong, but we'll see. Tennessee going to Buffalo to take on the Bills. I am going with Buffalo. That is not even a conversation to be had there. That's pretty straightforward. Detroit versus Minnesota. I'm gonna go with Minnesota here. It is in Minnesota, and I understand they're both dome teams, but it's a hostile environment to go to Minnesota. We already saw a top team go there already with the Houston Texans and struggle with Brian Flores' defense. I think the same thing's gonna happen, and especially with the Vikings coming off a bye week, I think Minnesota wins this. I really do. Seattle versus Atlanta. This is two shit teams going at it. I'm just gonna go with the home team here. Seattle. They lose to the Giants. They lose to the Niners. I don't know what Geno Smith is up to. I don't know what he's been thinking recently. It's just bad decisions after bad decisions with him. I really don't know. He used to be like a decent quarterback, nothing to ring home about, but he was pretty good. He was pretty good, but now he's just mistake prone all the time. I don't know what got into him. But we're going with the Falcons on this one. Cincinnati versus Cleveland, the Battle of Ohio. Another chapter of the Battle of Ohio. I'm going to go with Cincinnati. Cleveland. They're not good. And yeah, yeah. It's just Deshaun Watson embarrassment tour continues. But Cincinnati should win that by a lot. And of course, my Giants at home against the Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to win this game. I don't want to say by a lot. I think Jalen Hurts still stinks. And but yeah, this maybe since it's a 12 o'clock game, Daniel Jones actually shows up. But Daniel Jones hasn't thrown a touchdown in hundreds of days at MetLife Stadium. I think it was 600. I don't know. Don't take my word for it. But he hasn't thrown a touchdown at MetLife Stadium in over a year, which is absolutely tragic. We're in week 7, by the way, in case you're wondering. So still no touchdowns at home for Daniel Jones because he is fucking garbage. And hopefully he gets, the sooner he gets benched, the more interested I'll get in this Giants season. But yeah, Philly's gonna come in here, put their nuts on our face, and that's we're not gonna do anything about it because we're the Giants. We have no pride. We don't care. The fact that we think we have a chance with Daniel Jones as quarterbacks is a fucking shame. But yeah, and then Saquon Barkley's coming back to New York. We already know we're gonna boo him, but to be honest, I'm a Giants fan, but I can see why Barkley kind of just wanted to give the proverbial middle finger to the Giants. We wasted his best years of his career with a team that we wasted his prime years with of his career with a team that was not serious about winning. He inherited Pat Shermer, Joe Judge, which are two jerk offs. Brian Dable, that at least he won an award for Coach of the Year. Um, his quarterbacks were the tail end of Eli's career, which he had a decent game every 6 games, and of course the idiot Daniel Jones. So I understand why he would want to just say "F you" to the Giants organization and move to his hometown team and go play for a better roster and all that. Will I be cheering off for him? Would I feel bad if they boo him? No. And if I was there, I'd probably boo him myself too, because that's what you get. You take the money. You know, he can't stop talking about the Giants fans. It's so weird. You're with Philly, man. Talk about your own fans. Don't worry about us. We're doing ourselves over here. So I don't know why this guy's so obsessed, but yeah, Saquon. I already know how this is gonna be. I don't think Jalen Hurts has a good game, but I think Saquon's just gonna run all over us. If I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And of course, we lose Andrew Thomas as well. When of course we're still without Kayvon Thibodeau, both on IR. Well, Andrew Thomas is out for the season, so the few good players on this team are not even available. So yeah, it's just not good. It's just not good. So yeah, Philly, that's probably the easiest pick of the week there. Miami going to Indianapolis. I'm going to take the Colts on this one. Miami's done. They have no quarterback. They have no chance. It's just a mess. I feel bad for Mike McDaniels. Really, really just a sad situation over there. And I'm just taking Indy just because they're not Miami, if we're going to be honest. Houston versus Green Bay. The Texans go to Lambeau Field. I think they leave with another L. Um, Reason being is Joe Mixon's questionable. Green Bay is at home, and we already saw the Texans play away at a NFC North team. It didn't work out so well for them. So it's not the end of the world for the Texans unless you are trying to get that number 1 seed or number 2 seed in the AFC playoffs. But yeah, I think this one you just have to take on the chin and move on. So I'm gonna go with the Packers on this one. Vegas against the Rams. I'm gonna go for my upset of the week with the Raiders. Let's go Raiders. Come on. You can't do me dirty here. I think the Rams, their season's done, and I think the Raiders are gonna come in and just fuck shit up. Especially now that they have Devontae Adams out the door. They can focus on the players they have in the locker room and not focus about some contract dispute or unwanted divas divas that don't want to be there anymore. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think the Rams are there to be had. To be honest with you guys, the Panthers going to Washington. Easy game, easy game. This is gonna be all Commanders here. I don't. Do I really need to expand on that? Not really. Let's be honest. The Chiefs are going to Levi Stadium to take on the 49ers. The Niners aren't the Niners of the past. I think a big part of that is, of course, they don't have McCaffrey. I think the Chiefs win this typical way of them winning a game. Lucky calls, horseshoe up their ass, referees helping them out, all that good stuff. So, yeah, Chiefs win. Shouldn't be a big deal, honestly. At this point in the season, if you're still surprised the Chiefs keep winning, then your brain's a little small. The Jets are going to Pittsburgh to play, and you know what's fucked up? I didn't even know that this stadium wasn't even called Heinz Field anymore. It's a little sad. Piece of my childhood died when I found that out. I don't even know what the name of the stadium is. It will always be Heinz Field in my opinion, but I digress. The Jets going to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. I'm going to go with the Jets on this one. This one was basically a 50-50 toss-up game where you looked at the analytics, you looked at the betting line. I just I'm just going to go with the Jets. Najee Harris is questionable, and I think the Jets just have too much on offense now. Like this is when Rodgers I think will show up. I think Rodgers if this was a 12 o'clock game, I would probably pick the Steelers. If this was a 3 o'clock game, I would pick the Steelers. But since it's prime time, I think Rodgers is going to, he just embarrassed himself on Monday Night Football. I don't, and his ego's too big to let that shit happen again. So I'm going to go with the Jets in this one. I'm not too confident about it. This is basically a 50-50 game if I've ever seen one, based on everything I saw researching this slate of games. So, you know, pick at your own will on this one. Baltimore going to Tampa to take on the Bucks. I'm gonna go with Baltimore here. Um, Tampa Bay, I like Tampa Bay. I respect Tampa Bay. I think they're gonna be winning the South pretty easily. But I'm still a little. When I think of Tampa Bay, I still think about them losing to the Broncos at home. And I know this is a different situation. That was a noon game. This is prime time. But I'm just gonna go with Lamar, man. I'm just gonna go with Lamar. Lamar, after starting 0-2, he's been unreal, and they just be a very, very good Commanders team. So I would say the Commanders are better than the Buccaneers, which, let's be honest, I'm pretty excited to see the Commanders take on the Buccaneers in the playoffs in the near future. But yeah, I have to go with Baltimore. There's just too much for Tampa. But Tampa, you have a good thing going, but you need to show me more for me to pick you guys in big games like this. And the last game of the slate, which is also Monday Night Football, just like the Baltimore Ravens versus Tampa Bay, but this one's streaming only on ESPN Plus. So just be warned, this is not a one's on ABC, one's on ESPN, one's on this week, one's on ESPN and the other is on ESPN Plus. So for me, that's not a big deal. I already have it. But just so you guys know, in case you guys are boomers and you don't know where this thing is, sub up the ESPN Plus for the 1 month trial or whatever you need to do if you want to watch this game. But the Chargers going to Arizona, I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one. If I didn't have ESPN Plus, would I sub up, 10 for $10 or whatever the price is now, to watch this game? No, I wouldn't. Um, and it makes me wonder if they would even show this at Twin Peaks, because I don't even know if they even have that shit. ESPN Plus at Twin Peaks, but yeah, it's not like there's no unless you're a Chargers or Cardinals fan, there's no neutral that's gonna be like, oh, I need to go to the bar to go watch this. No one's good. No one gives a shit about that game anyway. So I could definitely see why they only put it on streaming. But those are my picks for the week. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it made you laugh too. It's it's just there's some things when you think about it's just silly stuff, man. Especially with my Giants. There's still people there's still people that think Daniel Jones is the guy, and it pisses me off to no end. I don't know why. I don't know why I let strangers get to me like this. You know, I am on the internet. I make videos. I show my face on videos, except this one, because I'm making this in a hurry. But you know, they could call me an idiot. They could call me whatever they want. But nothing gets me more mad than when I hear Daniel Jones is still the guy, and it's like, oh my god, I'm going to fucking flip out. So yeah, and, you know they definitely everything every fan base has this group of idiots that defend a shit player for some unknown reason. So yeah, it's just I guess it's one of those in it. But yeah, I'll wrap it up. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, comment anything that comes to mind, share out with your buddies, and sub up the channel. I'll see you on the next one on the recap of week 7, and of course, I'll definitely do a Giants recap after we get smoked by the Eagles. So keep an eye out for that one, guys. But that's all I got. Costless tying out.
It's useless. I'm working on that. Penny X.